don't ride for nobody, no badge, no crew. Truth don't play favors, it just come through. I don't take sides, I take time and review. So to put it, let the context break through. If you clean, that stamp stay true.
Was there an average age range? Preteen to teen? So like 10 to 12, 8 to 10? Could be.
Detectives in Washington are alerted to a horrendous discovery after disturbing reports came in about an online user who uploaded a number of obscene videos depicting children as young as 6 months old.
Where's your husband work?
Rainier School District.
This is just suck.
The following report is based on official police records, and some of the footage has never been seen before until now.
Hi, welcome to In Plain Sight. We're gonna go on some territory here that I want to let you know that it is of utmost importance that you pay attention, and not just pay attention to the video that we definitely want you to do, but pay attention to the surroundings that you place your children in as well. Because sometimes you never know what the teacher or the principal or the counselor or any of them individuals might be involved in, and it behooves you as a parent to be sure 100% about the things, or as close to 100% as you can get about the people that are in charge of your kids. Anyway, brace yourself.
In the afternoon hours on September 16th, 2025, detectives with the Cowlitz County Sheriff's Office head to a residence connected to an IP address that's been circulating sickening content online. Officers decide to use a ploy to conceal the actual reason why they're searching for their suspect, 49-year-old Jeremy Peter Williams, a principal at a high school.
Sheriff's Office?
Yeah.
How are you?
I'm well.
So we're doing a little canvass of an area, and we were told that one of the neighbors said that he might know or recognize a vehicle that's down here. Any idea where Jeremy's at?
My husband?
Yeah.
He's a principal at a school.
Oh,
At
okay.
a meeting. He's on the phone right now. He just
okay,
happened to
great.
call me.
Okay, well, we'll be back another time, and we'll see if he knows what this vehicle is.
That's
I
so
don't have
weird.
the photo of it with me
We're
right now.
new.
Okay, how long have you guys been living here?
A year, but we don't know our neighbors.
All right, well, thanks.
Okay.
All right,
Yeah.
thank you. Yep.
Now, this one's a little bit kind of an issue for me because I reside in Washington State. Now, Washington State's a little bit weird in the fact that there's a lot of this particular kind of stuff that happens here. I don't know what the fascination is with the environment and the location that causes said people to kind of come to this location, but they seem to gravitate to that side of there are two sides to Washington State, in case people don't know. We call it the wet side and the dry side. And the dry side is where I'm at, and that's across the mountain range on the eastern side. And then the western side, across near the water, is where all the oddballs seem to just gravitate to. And they've had quite an abundance of cases like this in Washington State as of recent, and I mean within the last 5-10 years. Water, air, I couldn't tell you, man. I don't know, but it's becoming far too prevalent. Anyway, let's go ahead.
Detectives monitoring the scene advise one another that Jeremy may have returned home, and they're prepared to catch him off guard with months of unspeakable evidence.
Hey, Jeremy. Oh, Jeremy?
Yeah.
All right. Have you come out here and chat with me real quick?
Sure.
I catch you at like your gym time or something?
No, I was gonna mow the lawn, but
Okay.
wow.
Just take off over here real quick. Any idea why we're here today? Okay. I'm going to be real upfront with you.
Okay.
You are under arrest right now.
Oh.
There's one of two things we can do. Either we can just go ahead and run you down to jail and go about our business. I have a search warrant to go through the house as well.
Okay. What is this for?
So across the last couple of months, we've received some information through some various sources about your online conduct. I've had a chance to go through it. One of my counterparts who works for Longview PD has as well. That's why we're having this conversation today.
Okay.
If you want to continue chatting about it, I'd prefer to do it out of the office.
Right, obviously. Yeah.
So does that work for you?
Yeah.
Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have another marked car come up.
Great.
Have him give you a ride down there, and then we'll have a conversation. In the meantime, some of my counterparts are going to search your house. Okay. You will get a copy of the search warrant along with a receipt for anything that I tape.
Okay.
Is that seem fair?
Well,
Okay.
seems interesting.
Does it seem interesting, Jeremy? Is interesting the word you're looking for? I don't think interesting is the word you're looking for. I think the word you're looking for, or the group of words that you're looking for, is damn it, they got me. I think that's the words that you really wanted to say, but you can't, because you know that if you act in a manner that you're really feeling internally, it could alert the wife and child that, you know, they'll find out anyway, Jeremy. They're going to find out anyway. Phew, man, look.
Do you have your phone on you?
Yeah.
I'll take that.
Item 15, David 3, you can come on up.
It's included in this.
Do you have anything else? But don't dig in your pockets for me. Do you have anything else on you?
No.
Okay, go ahead and turn around real quick. I'm just going to pat you down. Having Jim Shorts makes it pretty easy for us, but so make sure you don't have any guns, knives, grenades, stuff like that. Okay. Hey, nope.
Where was Jeremy going? Where did Jeremy think he was going walking off to? Jeremy, stand still. Cuffs are supposed to be going on. You was arrested. Forget. Did thou forget that thou art arrested? Okay, calm down, Jeremy. I know what he was. This is what I anticipate he was thinking about doing. Going into the house to try and soften the blow to his wife about what is coming. In some story, a don't worry, I don't know what this is about type sentiment. They all do it.
As long as you're going to be cooperative, I'll copy in the front.
Where am I going to go?
Jeremy's wife, who teaches at the same school where he works as principal, is inside the house with their son. They're unaware as to why Jeremy is being investigated and the twisted behavior he's been hiding.
Yes,
Hi there, you Sandy?
I am.
Hi there. Just to let you know, we have a search warrant for the house.
Okay.
Okay. And we were looking for specific items, electronic items.
Okay.
Is there anybody else in the house?
My son is here.
Okay. That's you right there. You're Trevor?
Yes.
Okay. I'm Jason with the sheriff's office. These were his headphones. I'm going to give them to you. So, is anyone else in the house besides the two of you?
Nope.
Okay.
Big dogs, small dogs.
Nope.
Two kittens.
Do you have any idea what this is about?
Nope. I
Okay.
have no clue.
Okay.
He possibly could have gotten
Okay.
yeah, what he's done.
Is there anything that you need to put away before we start digging into the search warrant?
We don't have illegal things.
No,
We are actually
you don't have
Really
illegal things at all.
law-abiding citizens.
What we're looking for is any sort of electronics, computers,
Well,
cell phones.
I mean, we have those things, of
Yeah.
course.
Yeah, that's what we're looking for.
Perfect. Go ahead and jump in for me.
Detectives enter Jeremy's house to gather devices that may contain the heinous files that were flagged by service providers.
The nature of this case, the reason we have to take any desktop computer is we have to look for a very specific type of evidence. And if it's found on any of that stuff, we have to take it. But
I'm not worried about having to take whatever you have.
okay.
Where's your husband work?
Rainier School District?
Is there any reason why does he work from home?
No. I don't want to say anything that's going to incriminate him.
I highly doubt you can, Sandra. Unless, of course, you're indulging in the same activity that he is. But if you are not, there, I doubt. Hear me out, Sandra. Although they're not being very forthcoming, I'm highly suspicious that you would, in some way, shape, form, or fashion, utter words that would more incriminate him than he already is. I don't think you should be worried about that.
Okay, is he on leave right now?
He is.
Okay.
According to police records, detectives seized 13 cell phones along with other electronic devices from the Williams residence. During the search, Jeremy's wife of nearly 27 years appears shaken up by her husband's sudden arrest.
We'll be out of your hair in just a couple of minutes, okay?
I'm assuming we'll get a call or something where he's gonna obviously go to jail.
Yeah, so he is under arrest today.
Right.
He's with Detective Moore right now.
Mhm.
They're chatting. Whenever that's done, he will get transferred over to the jail. We did leave that laptop, right? We verified it was your
Okay,
district
thank you.
laptop. We left that
Because
here.
that actually probably, I mean, I'm already, because I'm married to him
Yeah.
at work. This is just suck.
You think?
I'm really sorry.
Okay.
Okay.
So
Jeremy is brought in for questioning, and detectives are about to explain exactly how he ended up on their radar.
Yeah, we go.
Do you have any idea why we're talking today?
You can keep talking.
That would be yes. Jeremy, Jeremy already knows what time it is. Jeremy said, "I don't. You keep talking." That's his way of saying, "I don't." He really doesn't want to incriminate himself, and I don't mind him not incriminating himself. But this is also the oh shit moment for Jeremy. This is where this is. It finally is now seeping into his consciousness that it's getting real. And he wants to hear something to see if what he's thinking is happening is actually happening. Although he may already know it's happening, but he wants to hear it to try give him some relief. I don't know.
Part of my hope is that this is a two-way conversation. It doesn't do me a whole lot of good to just sit here and talk, right? Because
I'm guessing, use my powers of inference, that somebody flagged something, and that's where we're at. The only thing I can think of is I had a Discord account that was hacked.
Hacked. Oh.
And I went to go do something on it, and it said you've been banned.
Okay. Have you ever maintained a Kik account? Media
For a little bit, but not really anything.
How recent a user does something that gets flagged, it generates one of these reports. Generally, we only get 1, 2, maybe 3 of these before we end up having this conversation. I have 8. Like I said, it's an abnormal number. Yeah. There is a very large database of known hash values, specifically related to something we call CSAM, which is child abuse material. Seems like you're familiar with the term. Like I said, I have 8 of them here. Okay. The most recent actually happened on Friday, or came in on Friday, but they are all originated from Discord and Kik. Okay. Specifically, all except 2 of them originated from Discord.
And I haven't been on Discord for...
Well, you said since June. Which the bulk of these originated from either very early June all the way back through March of this year. Okay.
Now, see what he thought he was doing was giving the detectives a reason that it couldn't possibly be me, because he's thinking this is recent. Because heck, it's June. Way back June was when I last had Discord. It couldn't be me. We in October, bro. It couldn't be me. Nah. But him saying that, he just put himself right at the timeline. Be sure your deeds will find you out. Anyway, continue, Jeremy.
According to police records, the horrifying content that Jeremy possessed and distributed depicted instances of graphic bodily assault with children as young as 6 months old.
With all of that being said, we're not here by mistake. Okay. One of my concerns is you are in a position of authority at a school. So clearly there's some additional concerns there, right?
Yeah.
Access to children that are the same content that was uploaded and downloaded being discussed. I mean, is this something that you're willing to talk about with me, or?
To an extent.
How long have you been, I guess, doing this, seeking it out, collecting?
It's been less than a year.
What drove that?
Jeremy says he first came across the disturbing material in question after he met a stranger on a community messenger board, and the entire ordeal was a, quote, accident.
Never sought it out. Didn't go looking for it. Didn't do internet search. Not looking for any of that. It's, as you well know, there's folks out there that have a lot of things.
Very aware.
Yeah.
Did they just kind of offer it up to you? How'd that conversation come about?
It was an RP thing, roleplay sort of thing. We started talking on Reddit then.
Okay. Like.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sort of stuff. I've never done anything IRL.
What grown man gonna say IRL and not just say in real life? To see what happens to the brain when you indulge in such things is that you start to, and trust and believe me, there are things that people do that will eventually start to create a different persona of who they are to people. and you'll be able to tell. I think many of you might know my story, being addicted to pornography as a youth, and it went all the way up into my elderly days, into my 30s. And it absolutely skewed what I grew up as. People knew me as a kid. I was unrecognizable as an adult. It completely flipped my world because all of my attention was given to this entity. This man he's already so crafted himself around the identity of children and his attraction to them that he can't even speak regular. That a grown man, I haven't done anything IRL. How you gonna speak emojis and all that? I have to keep a little bit of levity because if I don't, I'm liable to say some things about Jeremy that I ain't supposed to say on social media. You know what I'm saying? So I have to keep it a little bit bright. Things could go dark real quick. 8 months old, remember? That was one of the, okay.
Everything's always been online, and that's a very important distinction.
Is it?
Between the position I'm in, I've never done anything with a student at a student, never used access their information, never done anything like that. It's all been online.
Although Jeremy maintains that he never sought contact with a minor, court documents show that messages between Jeremy and another person referred to, quote, sharing Sarah. Jeremy admitted he believed that Sarah was approximately 12 to 14 years old. He said he never intended on meeting the person who allegedly had access to a girl named Sarah. During his interview with detectives, Jeremy stated that he's no longer in the presence of children, as he'd been placed on administrative leave following comments he made about the recent assassination of a public figure.
I wasn't sad that Charlie Kirk got shot.
Okay.
And I when somebody was talking about it, I said, oh, too bad, good riddance. Okay. And they got me, so I don't have access to anything anyway.
Have you ever reciprocated to receiving the images? Like they send you an image, so you send back one that you've gotten in the past, or a video?
That's a yes.
That has happened.
And this was happening on Reddit or through Discord?
I mean, Reddit is where I meet people.
Okay.
What about the exchanges?
Yes.
Yeah, Discord, I guess.
Okay.
No. What he means to say is that he doesn't sound like he's been doing it on multiple platforms. They'll find out anyway. But because he doesn't want to come across and say, I know, just one, I think. Anytime you hear them say, I think, in situations like this, they're not thinking about whether or not they did it. They're thinking about whether or not they tell you. I think it's one. I think that's all I'm going to tell you is one of them. Let's go with that.
But you said you've never sought this out in real life. You've never.
No, I've never created. I've never produced. No.
Obviously, if you're reciprocating, sending them back, you have these images and videos saved somewhere.
I do not have any anymore.
You deleted them all?
Well, I don't have any. You know, it's like, nah, I can't have this. This is not there.
Stop lying, bro. Like, how do you in front of detectives who found you via what you've been doing? Hear me out, Jeremy. It's not like they know the ratting happened because somebody witnessed it. This is all tracing of your internet footsteps. You're a principal, so you got some education. You can't figure out that they will find out if you've sent, when you've sent, and they're just asking you so that you would come forward with the information. That ain't crossed your mind, not even the slightest. I guess there's a difference between educated and smart and wise. He's showing all distinctions between them right now.
Jeremy is asked to go into specific detail about the victims seen in the videos.
If you had to guess, what was the average age range of the juvenile or the child in the videos? Or was there an average age range?
Preteen to teen.
Okay. So like 10 to 12, 8 to 10.
Could be.
I think in your position, how do you get yourself into a situation where you're even sticking your toe in that pool?
I know.
I mean,
yeah.
I mean, do you think that, there's no way they'd find out, or or?
I don't know that the thought goes that deep
Never
at the
does.
time. Sometimes compulsion
Okay.
does things, and sometimes you get into things without even nothing. The next thing you know, you're neck deep.
Untrue. Untrue. I will tell you that's a lie we tell ourselves, to have other people believe that we had no control. BS. Him with every other, you have the control. Just admit that you liked what you were doing, bro. The remorse is not hitting you because you had remorse prior to. The remorse is hitting you because you're being hit with the crime, and time is coming your way. And now all of a sudden, why did I do that? Look what it got me into. If you hadn't been caught, you wouldn't have been given a damn. You'd have continued. You'd have continued. That's the wild thing, Jeremy.
Jeremy tells detectives that he doesn't know the true identities of the people he was role-playing with and claims that online messages are the only link connecting him to vile videos.
Random people you came across.
Internet anonymity.
And I guess that's probably part of the process too, is the anonymity.
Mm-hmm. We can be whoever we want.
You said you've never sought this out. It's always come up through these role play scenarios. Okay, so there's no websites or internet sources that you've gone to outside of that.
Nope, it's all been user to user.
Court documents show a total of 31 files containing potential CSAM were flagged between two electronic service providers. According to police records, detectives cracked the passcode to Jeremy's cell phone. Internet usage included more than 1,000 visited websites, including 882 between June and September, when Jeremy frequented a URL that is known and used by CSAM collectors.
So he lied. See what I mean? Do you see what I mean now? He lied. So you delete Discord. That's what you said you did. You deleted Discord. Discord might have been your springboard, but the springboard just makes you dive into the water. Now you're in the water, swimming around too.
Is your wife aware of these activities?
No.
Okay, so this
Well, now,
it'll be a surprise to her.
Yeah.
Okay.
in 100% honesty, I am carrying on a long distance extramarital activity.
Currently?
Yeah.
Okay. You said back in June your Discord account got hacked.
Yeah.
Are you being honest or truthful in that statement?
Yeah, I had no idea what was going on until I went to log in and it said you've taken action against terms and services.
Well, so that's what they do. When they fire off these reports to us, typically they will lock a user's account out. I just want to clarify that it wasn't sudden.
According to police records, Jeremy continued consuming CSAM even after being booted off Discord. Based on police evidence, Jeremy's fear of exposure was looming. At one point, he asked Google, "Can law enforcement get a physical address from an IP address?" This search was entered 4 separate times on the date of his arrest.
Jeremy, man, back in college, okay, when I was in college, that was when the internet kind of first really was taking off, it was kind of novel and everything was flash driven, and a lot of the things that you would find online were always very, very difficult to access, but not so difficult that you couldn't access it, right? And one of the key things that the majority of college students got very, very familiar with their computer was clearing their history. That was the number. When I tell you that every teen that had a computer knew about deleting history, and we genuinely thought that by deleting that history, it was gone forever, never be found again. And you're thinking, so I might be losing a bookmark, but it's gone. Found, internet gone. Until we found out about this whole different field of forensics, online forensics, digital forensics, and I tell you what, it put a dent in a lot of people's online activities, and they're not doing the crap he's doing. We're just talking about teenage boys perusing adult websites. When we found out they could track stuff and link it back to the exact computer and then find exactly where that computer is by looking at the computer itself, it freaked a lot of us out. We were losing. I'd like, what? Now, parents are still involved in this. You mean they can tell my mom, they can tell my dad, they can tell. I'm surprised that in 2025, an adult man doesn't know that. And I'm talking about in the 90s. We heard about this. It also tells me that what he's been doing pervaded his mind so much that he was not a reasoning individual anymore. His entire life was crafted around that activity. Crazy.
Still, the phone data and conflicting timestamps would prove the extent of his activity.
You mentioned in June that this stopped in June.
Mhm.
What happened in June that caused that to stop?
What, the Discord thing?
The whole viewing of the
I
CSAM
just-
and that.
Feeling,
Realized how far
some
down.
kind of way, and
Mm-hmm.
it's like, this is not good. Something bad's going to happen, and I need to,
Just stop it.
I need to try and stop them.
According to police records, the two apps Jeremy admittedly used to exchange CSAM had been deleted from his phone, but usage history revealed he was active on Discord from March to August. His last date using Kik was marked on September 9th, 7 days before his arrest. Approximately 2,400 files containing CSAM content were found on Jeremy's phone. 1 hour before he was taken into custody, Jeremy modified several files on his device. Timestamps indicate that he made this move immediately after learning police arrived at his doorstep and spoke to his wife.
Have you been successful in staying away from it?
For the most part,
You say for the most part, like,
every so often stuff will pop up, but I try not to engage and
Right.
just try and be better.
Just try and be better at hiding. Hey, look, you tried. You definitely did. I'll give you that. You tried. You tried to hide. You did do that.
According to court documents, Jeremy admitted that he had intrusive thoughts after his own arrest. Upon being released on bail, he found his wife's handgun and made a plan to permanently end his struggles. What ultimately stopped Jeremy was his daughter, Amanda, who flew in from Florida when he was arrested. Amanda had put the retainer down for his attorney. As for his youngest son, Jeremy said that he is struggling with the situation. According to court documents, 49-year-old Jeremy Williams was initially charged with a combined 13 counts of possession of depictions of a minor engaged in explicit conduct and dealing in depictions of a minor engaged in explicit conduct. On January 12, 2026, as part of a plea deal, Jeremy pleaded guilty to 3 counts of possession of depictions of a minor engaged in explicit conduct in the first degree. He was sentenced on February 23, 2026 to 61 months in prison and 36 months probation. He will be required to register as a sex offender. Jeremy's wife, Sandra, who is still employed at the school as a teacher where Jeremy worked as principal, said their adult children have made statements that he was a good father and that they would support him. She said Jeremy has already lost a lot due to his actions, and they are both participating in individual counseling. Sandra stated that they are still trying to work things out and they may possibly not stay together. According to court documents, Jeremy will reside with Sandra at their house upon his release.
Am I upset about her doing that? Not really. He's been to jail. He would have been to jail. He would be released and all that stuff. He did. By the law, he served his time. And by the rules of engagement when it comes to spousal agreements, she's thick and thin, good and bad. That's on them. I ain't even trying to dog their commitment to each other or to fight for it. That in a way that's very good. That's commendable. And I can't say whether or not Jeremy is remorseful because he got arrested or because he needed to stop. I don't know. I know this, that Jeremy was a principal and Jeremy was engaging in things that could endanger children, and he was over children. And I think there are far too many of those situations happening in the world. And I think as a parent, I personally want to be assured that the people that I leave my child in the care of are not like Jeremy, are not like Jeremy on any level, where they celebrate the things they celebrate, or that they are engaging in the things he's engaging in, which is detrimental to my child. In any case, he's in jail now, and he'll be there for about 5 years. So we'll see how that works out for him. That's crazy. Anyway, let us know your thoughts about all of it, including the end result, and we'll see if we can have a nice, robust discussion about all of it, the merits and the downside, the penal system, all of it. We'll talk. We'll catch you on the next one.
One wrong move turn the present into the past. I don't ride for nobody, no badge, no crew. Truth don't play favorites, it just come through. I don't take sides, I take time and review, so to put it, let the context break through. If you clean, that stamp stay true. If you foul, that show up too. No miss, no spin, no cover up hype.